What's up, everybody? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at a little bit of a controversial stance that I saw online the other day. There was a content creator, Switch Stop, I think that was the name of it, where he put up a post talking about Microsoft and Nintendo's relationship and how it's completely one-sided towards Nintendo. So the post was saying, well, look at all the stuff that Microsoft is giving Nintendo when it comes to IP and characters to use inside their games, and that Nintendo has not given anything back to them. And that brought up a lot of discussion. Now, this also happened recently around, I think, my boy RGT, who's having trouble KOing people in Super Mario Bros. 35th, but that's a whole nother thing that we'll talk about later. But RGT also made a video which I watched, which is a good video, talk about the relationship between Nintendo and Microsoft. And this is something that I've been wanting to discuss, or at least I've discussed on my live streams, but I wanted to talk about in a formal video, and kind of everything, the perfect storm of just people just talking about this and it being like a topic of discussion for me to do this video right now at this point. So let's discuss this. I do think that when people say that it's completely one-sided, or people that were liking and retweeting and actually agreeing with that post, I found that to be somewhat ridiculous in my opinion, because it's not one-sided if the other side is mutually benefiting from it, and not just mutually benefiting, but benefiting way more than they really would have, right? So let's take a look at some of the things here. So Microsoft has said, okay, Nintendo, you guys can use Banjo and Kazooie in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. But let me ask you guys a question. Banjo and Kazooie, Microsoft isn't even using them in games or anything like that. So all Nintendo did was take that character that Microsoft obviously wanted to have in Super Smash Bros. And there are old school fans, because you guys all know, but if you don't know, Banjo-Kazooie, that's Rare. Nintendo used to be part owners of Rare before Microsoft came and just swooped them up, okay? So that was a first-party game for Nintendo, but what is Banjo-Kazooie doing? It just gets Banjo-Kazooie more popularity for when there is eventually a game, more people will know about it. Heck, it actually was so talked about that day, Banjo-Kazooie was trending on the Japanese Twitter pages and everything like that. So to me, it's mutually beneficial. You get a character that's pretty much been dead for a long time, there's been nothing going on, and you get that character talked about that they own. And if they eventually do make a game, that's going to make the game more popular with people in Japan. It's going to make the game more popular with people in terms of current times that grew up during this era, because Banjo-Kazooie was a long time ago. Many people don't know what that is, but since it isn't Super Smash Bros., that is an advertisement. It's an evergreen type of thing. And when they finally do get a Banjo-Kazooie game, people will be like, okay, yeah, that character was in Smash. I do know about this character. Let me check out some of the older games, got Rare Replay, and all of that. It always happens with a lot of that. So I don't see how that's some type of, oh, Nintendo got this huge benefit from them. There's literally 10 million characters that could be in Super Smash Bros. And if Banjo and Kazooie wasn't in Super Smash Bros., there would just be some other character that would take Banjo and Kazooie's spot that could be way more popular than Banjo and Kazooie. So I don't see how that's some type of way beneficial towards Nintendo and not beneficial towards Microsoft at all. They need to get on a game, and then they can really reap the rewards of that. But let's talk about the next thing that was posted, which was Steve in Super Smash Bros. As well. And I think this one's very interesting, because this is probably the most mutual beneficial to both parties, right? So with Minecraft, that gets them an in Japan. If you look at the sales and everything, Minecraft by far is the best selling Microsoft game. Microsoft owns Mojang. They bought them for however many billion a number of years back. So it gets them an in Japan, because that's really the only game that they can sell from a Microsoft first party that actually does well. Minecraft has sold so good on the Nintendo Switch platform in Japan. It's a bestseller on there. Every single week you'll see it in the top 30. And now that you have Steve from Minecraft in there, not only does that give that character way more publicity than it was already getting, but then also Nintendo, on the other hand, gets a character from the best-selling game of all time. So it benefits both. People are going to look at that from Smash Bros. And say, okay, wow, Steve, let's go check out his game, whether they do it on the PlayStation, whether they do it on the Xbox, whether they do it on PC. it doesn't matter. Imagine how many other people who have never played Minecraft before, which I guess they're out there, right? You know, even though the game is the best-selling game of all time, there's still way more people that maybe are into Smash, that are into those type of games or into different type of games that haven't played Minecraft, and they're gonna check it out now at this point just so they can kind of know where this character comes from. And like I said, with Nintendo, they get a character that is extremely popular, best-selling game of all time with Minecraft. But once again, Smash Brothers is that huge evergreen marketing campaign. If your character is in there, it's a marketing campaign for both. Both of these franchises don't necessarily need each other, but it was mutually beneficial for them to come together and have this, because Minecraft's gonna make a ton more money in sales with Steven Super Smash Brothers, and Super Smash Brothers is going to be opened up to a lot more people who might have not looked at Smash Brothers, but they see their favorite character Steve from Minecraft, or they see their favorite franchise finally represented in Super Smash Brothers. Then all of a sudden, okay, I'm gonna try out Smash Brothers this holiday. Parents get it for me, whatever the case is. Now, the last thing that we're gonna look at here, guys, is Ori, Will of the Wisps, Ori, and the Blind Forest, and that as well, because that was the last thing that the post was talking about, how Microsoft has given Nintendo these things. Now, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. I'll say this once, and I'll say it again. The reason why Microsoft would do that with two 2D platformers is because they know they can make a bunch of money off of Nintendo hardware. If they couldn't make a bunch of money off of the Nintendo hardware, they can make more than they would probably make on their own, because it's Game Pass, so it's just a thing that you get, right? So essentially, people just get the game. They don't really pay for it on Xbox. I mean, technically they do with Game Pass, but then again, you know that it's not like a super net positive for them with Game Pass, because they're giving away so many different things on there. This is a way for them to directly get game sales. Directly get game sales from a game at the premium price for that game, and sell potentially millions of copies to a fan base that's going to buy indie games, because this is a indie style of game. It's a Metroidvania style of game. If it didn't make sense for Microsoft, and if they weren't going to make millions of dollars off of it to fund more projects, to pay the developers to do what they need to do, because Microsoft spends a lot of money on all this Xbox stuff, so they need to make a lot of money, they wouldn't have done it. And that's the reason why it's mutually beneficial to both parties. Microsoft is going to make a ton of money off of the Switch fan base, because the Switch fan base loves these 2D platformer type of games, Metroidvania style. Nintendo gets some games that they can have on their system to where it makes it more appealing. But if these games weren't gonna sell and do really well, Microsoft wouldn't put them on the Switch. It's not like they're putting everything on the platform. And yes, maybe Game Pass does come one of these days, or there's select games, but it's not like they're saying, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and put like Gears and all these different types of games on there without Game Pass and just on the system. They're specifically curating certain games that they know will do well with that base, so they can make millions of dollars. Nintendo doesn't owe them any franchise or anything. What they owe them is their cut of all the money they're making, which they're paying them for that, right? As they make the sales, they're getting paid for that. They're getting the royalties. There was another game, Cuphead, that was not brought up as much, but Cuphead, of course, Microsoft, but that's also on PlayStation 2 now at this point, right? But before then, it was only on Microsoft, it was only on PC, and it came over to the Nintendo Switch. Once again, that is a game that so many Nintendo fans are going to buy. That game, I think, sold over 1 million units on the Switch alone. The developers are looking at those sales numbers and saying, hey, I mean, like, we can make a lot of money. We can enhance our studio. We can enhance our lives. We can put money in the bank. We can get funding for new projects if we put it on this extremely popular platform, and it does better than just giving it for Game Pass or whatever the case is. So if I'm the developers of Ori and the Blind Forest and the Ori games or whatever, heck yeah, I want the game to be on the Nintendo Switch. If I'm Microsoft, heck yeah, I want it to be on there. It's not really going to take people away from buying the Xbox hardware. People aren't gonna buy Xbox for a 2D platformer like Ori, and you're gonna make a ton of money in the process. Oh, by the way, there's a $150 collector's edition, but it's probably gonna do pretty well on the Switch platform with those collector's editions, because people like to buy physical goods on Switch. People like to buy collector's editions on Switch. So to sit here and try to say it's completely one-sided and Nintendo owes Microsoft something or they need to give them some type of franchise, no, that's not how it works. Not if Nintendo wanted to, okay, but to insinuate that there is nothing that they're getting, yet they're making millions upon millions of dollars off of having their games or having certain games being on there or certain characters when it comes to marketing and getting more residual sales, to just brush all that aside because you think Splatoon or something should be on there. That is just a weird way of looking at it, and business wise, there's no business that's going into that thought process, which I saw so many people sit there and act like it's like Microsoft is getting nothing when they're making millions of dollars, which is what they want. They want to make those millions of dollars off of those games so they can continue to fund those independent games and continue to fund those studios, and those studios can also have good funds for other things and what they need to do. So Nintendo doesn't owe them anything at this point outside of the money, which is fine. They're paying them the money for whatever they make and the sales off of those games that are on there. And once again, Minecraft and Banjo and Kazooie, those are going to get evergreen, eternal marketing from Super Smash Brothers for whenever Banjo decides to do a game again. And of course, Minecraft is already going to do better because of Steve in Smash. So to me, I see it as a good mutual beneficial relationship between both of those companies, and that's kind of how Microsoft is seeing it, or they wouldn't do it either. That's how Nintendo's seeing it, or they wouldn't do it as well. So what do you guys think about this relationship with Microsoft and Nintendo and what's going on and what I discussed here? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Check out the links in the description. We got Twitter. Give us a follow on our Twitter page. Stay up to date on all latest gaming news and information. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.